It was supposed to be the happiest day of their lives. The wedding had been lavish. Roses flown in from overseas, a designer dress, a guest list that read like a who's who of the elite. And at the center of it all was the ring. Not just any ring, but a rare, vintage diamond piece said to be worth over $300,000. A symbol of love, commitment, and forever. But forever didn't last long. Just 13 months into the marriage, the couple filed for divorce. The relationship had soured. Accusations flew from both sides. Infidelity, manipulation, emotional abuse. Yet amidst all the chaos, one question set the court on fire. Who gets the ring? You might think, simple. It's a gift. It stays with the bride. But this case wasn't simple. The groom claimed it was a conditional gift meant only if the marriage lasted. The bride claimed it was hers unconditionally, a token of love no matter what followed. Lawyers on both sides dug in deep. Precedents were cited from decades of strange and bitter divorce cases. The bride's team argued that once the wedding took place, the ring was hers. End of story. The groom's lawyers hit back with personal emails, texts, and even audio recordings suggesting that she'd only married him for wealth and status. The media went wild. News anchors debated the case, social media lit up, and thousands of people took sides, each convinced they knew what was fair. But behind all the headlines was something deeper. What does a ring really symbolize? When a relationship ends, should the tokens of that love be returned or kept as painful reminders? The judge had to walk a razor-thin line between sentiment, law, and morality. Every legal expert in the country had their eyes on this case, not just because of the money involved, but because of what it might mean for future divorces. And just when things seemed like they couldn't get more complicated, something was revealed that turned the entire case on its head. We'll uncover that shocking detail in just a moment. But before we continue, take a second to subscribe to our channel if you enjoy real legal stories that leave you thinking. We post powerful, true drama every single day, and you won't want to miss what's next. Now, let's dive into what really shook the courtroom. The court fell silent as Maria took the stand. Her voice trembled at first, but her words were clear. This ring, it wasn't just a gift, it was a promise, and he broke it. She described in painful detail the months leading up to their separation, the growing distance, the cold silences, and how, during a final heated argument, Daniel had taken the ring from her finger and stormed out. But that wasn't what made her seek justice. What stung more was discovering that he had later sold the ring, not for financial need, but to erase what he called a mistake. Daniel's lawyer was quick to counter. This is a material object, he argued. It was given during a happy moment, yes, but it holds no legal weight now. The marriage failed. The ring goes with it. But Maria's legal team painted a different picture. They claimed the ring, a family heirloom, had emotional and historical significance. More importantly, they introduced a clause in Daniel's family trust, which clearly stated that heirlooms must remain within the family or be returned in case of dissolution. The courtroom gasped. Daniel, who had seemed calm until now, was visibly shaken. He leaned over to whisper to his attorney, who suddenly asked for a recess. Outside, media frenzy surrounded both parties. The public was clearly split. Some believed Maria had every right to fight for what was rightfully hers, not just the ring, but the dignity it represented. Others saw the case as a bitter extension of a failed relationship, dragging private pain into the public eye. But the judge was unmoved by the spectacle. What mattered were the facts. And over the next few days, more would come to light. When the recess ended, Daniel returned with a new strategy. He claimed the ring had been lost, not sold, a claim that immediately raised eyebrows. Maria's lawyers, now prepared, revealed a paper trail from a private auction where the ring had been sold under a different name, a name tied to Daniel's business associate. Now, the case was no longer just about the ring. It was about deception. What started as a seemingly petty dispute had turned into something much deeper, a legal unraveling of a web of lies, pride, and broken promises. And as the judge prepared to hear new testimony, it was clear this battle was far from over. As the courtroom battle entered its third week, tensions escalated. The defense, representing Jacob, shifted their strategy. They claimed that the ring, despite its immense value, had been an heirloom from Jacob's great-grandmother and was never meant to be a marital gift. They presented old family photos, statements from relatives, and even a dusty appraisal document from years ago that supposedly proved the ring's lineage. But Emily's lawyer wasn't backing down. They brought in forensic jewelers. Experts testified that the ring's design and materials were inconsistent with the claimed heritage and matched exactly with a luxury jeweler Jacob had visited just 3 months before the wedding. Surveillance footage was shown. Jacob at the store, selecting the ring, smiling as he completed the purchase. The courtroom was stunned. The judge leaned forward, eyebrows raised. The defense was clearly rattled. Jacob's family members who had testified about the ring's origin began to look uncomfortable. Some were even suspected of perjury. The public, following the case like a live drama, started taking sides. Social media exploded with commentary, some supporting Emily's claim that gifts, once given, become the receiver's property. Others argued that Jacob, if he truly intended the ring to stay in his bloodline, should have made that clear with a prenuptial agreement. But the real twist came when Emily's side revealed a set of emails, messages Jacob had exchanged with a friend before the wedding. In one, he joked, "If this marriage ever goes south, at least I'll get the ring back." That line silenced the room. It wasn't just about a piece of jewelry anymore. It was about intention, manipulation, and control. The judge ordered a short recess, allowing both parties to regroup. When court resumed, Jacob looked visibly shaken. His legal team seemed to realize the damage was irreversible. The tide had turned. The ring, once a symbol of everlasting love, had become the centerpiece of a legal and emotional war. But now, the court wasn't just debating ownership. It was unraveling a relationship built on deception and blurred boundaries. As both sides prepared for closing arguments, one thing was clear. This case was no longer just about a wedding ring. It was about justice, accountability, and setting a legal precedent that would be discussed in law schools for years to come. The courtroom was silent as the final ruling came down. After weeks of emotional testimonies, forensic accounting, and public drama, the judge prepared to deliver a verdict. The question wasn't just about the ring's monetary value. It was about what it symbolized and who truly had the right to keep it. As the judge looked over the evidence one last time, he acknowledged that the ring had become more than a piece of jewelry. It was now the center of a personal war filled with betrayal, emotional pain, and deep mistrust. Then came the ruling. The judge declared that the ring, despite its significant financial value, was given as a conditional gift, dependent on the promise of marriage. Because the marriage ended through proven misconduct and not mutual agreement, the court ordered that the ring be returned to the husband. Gasps filled the courtroom. The wife broke down in tears, not for the ring itself, but because of what it all represented. Years of her life had now been symbolized by a single item she could no longer keep. The husband, too, showed no signs of joy. Winning the case didn't feel like victory. It felt like closure drenched in sadness. But that wasn't the end. This case sparked something much bigger. It was reported widely in the media. Legal experts and relationship counselors started using it as a reference point, and soon lawmakers began reviewing the vague gray areas around gift-giving in marriages. Could gifts tied to emotional contracts be considered recoverable assets? Should there be national clarity on what engagement rings legally represent? Within months, new proposals were introduced. Some states began drafting laws offering clearer definitions on conditional gifts, particularly in romantic contexts. What started as a bitter divorce over a ring ended up reshaping how love, promises, and property are treated by the law. For the couple at the heart of it all, their lives moved on, separately, but the echoes of their legal battle still ripple across courtrooms today. Their pain became the reason others might avoid similar confusion in the future. And perhaps that's the strangest part of all. Sometimes it's the smallest object, a ring, that ignites the biggest change. Thank you for joining us in uncovering this unforgettable story. If you found this journey eye-opening, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more powerful real-life dramas and legal stories. We post new videos daily that will make you rethink everything you thought you knew. Until next time, stay curious and stay informed.